So we're using a birth ball today and taking it easy. That's our goal. There we go. All right. So we have some blocks, some birth balls, all the pillows as per usual. If you have any blankets you want to bring to the space, feel free to do that too. I'm going to sit on my cozy furry pillow. It's always good to sit on something to bring the pelvis into neutral alignment. Just take it easy on those pelvic muscles and the bones that make up the pelvis too. And let's take a moment to arrive here, making any adjustments needed to come into the space and into this place of prenatal yoga practice. And simply notice how you're feeling. I'm sure it's been a busy day for all of us, and it's a heat wave kind of week. So lots of energy moving out of the body. Let's take a moment to call ourselves back to this moment. Just notice how you feel. Notice what kind of thoughts are running around in the brain, how the breath feels. If you're like me and you're finding a nice alignment of the spine and neck, finding your yogi sit, if you will, that's awesome. But let's take a moment after that, once we find our nice seat, to relax the belly, the spine, even the neck. Let it do its thing. Let the shoulders do their thing. And drawing our awareness to the nose and sensing the breath as it moves in and out. Perhaps noticing the quality of your breath, where it's landing. Maybe you're noticing the temperature of the air, or maybe you're noticing you're breathing in through a dominant nostril. Take a moment to find your breath, find its natural rhythm, its ease. Lovely. And then take a moment to notice the body, scanning from head to toe, releasing any tension, gripping, clinging. Dropping the jaw, the tongue, shoulders. And if you want to get a little woo with me, let's take a moment to imagine all the varieties of ourselves that's running around out there. So, your work human, your mama human, the person who cleans the house or takes certain roles on. Maybe your fun human self as well, and the things you have enjoyed this week for fun, for play and pleasure. Imagine all of the incarnations of yourself out in the world and call them all back. Let them know it's time to relax and rest. Bring them back to this space with you. Cutting all the threads of doing and being and achieving and enjoying, and simply coming here to this present moment. Nice. And when you're ready, let's take a couple breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, finding your own pace as you breathe in and out. And as we breathe, can we see if we can elongate the exhale, So noticing the inhale, coming up maybe with a count or a sensation for how long it takes. Exhaling through the mouth for a little bit longer. Coming into a de-stressor breath or relaxation breath. And playing with your rhythm as well. Noticing if you can elongate the inhale, elongate the exhale. And as we breathe, we're letting baby drop and our bellies drop, shoulders and face. Mouth and tongue, everything dropping as we breathe. Making this your last inhale and last exhale. And keeping our eyes comfortable as we place our hands on our belly, on our bodies, and spend a moment to welcome baby to the practice as well. Visualizing or sensing where your baby's at this week and what they've been up to. And when you're ready, you can find soft eyes coming back to the room. And let's start to move. Get into our shoulders and our necks. You know what to do here, Mama. You don't have to follow my cue or what I'm doing. Simply start to notice the body and what it needs as we cultivate this present awareness. We spend so much of our days outside our bodies in the world, doing and being and living. So now that we've invited ourselves back here, it's usually a nice time to notice, okay, I'm in my body, and what is it trying to tell me? And how can I nourish it? How can I offer it what it needs? So we're in the shoulders and neck. But while we're here, we can also be dropping the jaw and the tongue, bringing the breath here, noticing our posture and finding some softness in the pelvis as we begin to move. Releasing our hug or grip on baby as we settle into our legs. Lovely. When this feels complete for you, we can take the movement down from the neck and shoulders towards the ribs, opening up the chest, leaning forward, inhaling. Exhaling as we round the upper back and shoulders, coming into a seated cat and cow. It doesn't have to be big. It can be at the shoulders and chest more than at the tailbone. Warming up the top of the spine, the upper half of the body first. And then as we feel more mobility, more release, we can invite that sensation down the spine towards the pelvis and hips, coming into more of a dramatic seated cat and cow, bringing our tailbones into the flow. And there should never be any pain in the belly. So if you're noticing some tension, especially on the sides or front of the belly, as you come into this posture, feel free to just go a little easier on yourself. And again, as we feel our bodies, our spines and bones warming up more, we can come into more of a bilateral movement, shaking out the ribs, Coming into some circles if we wish. Connecting breath to the body. Continuing on our seek and find mission, seeking tension, clinging, discomfort, and offering a little movement, a little motion as lotion, a little love and breath. Nice. From here, if your legs are uncrossed, feel free to switch the leg that's in front. It's a deep stretch sitting like this, so we want to be able to open both sides evenly and have body balance. If you're in diamond, you can hang out there. Beautiful. Let's inhale, find some length in the spine, back of the neck is long. Exhale as we twist from the mid back towards the left. Inhale, length here. Bringing those shoulders back, opening up the chest. Exhale to settle. Breathing here into that left side, noticing the space we create with the breath. Next, exhale brings us back to center. Inhale, length. Exhale to soften and begin a nice gentle twist. Again, we're avoiding a really deep twist coming from the tailbone, moving more from the mid back, whatever feels good. Trust your body, trust its guidance. Breathing here. Letting those shoulders drop away from the ears, releasing the face and mouth. And next, exhale back to center. Making any movements needed, rolling into the glutes, and we'll eventually find our legs outstretched in front of us, coming into a seated Tadasana. Let's inhale, length here. Exhale to open the legs up. Inhale, length again. Exhale to turn the belly gently to the left side and eventually reach for those toes, walking the hands towards the feet. It doesn't have to be deep. If you want to increase your stretch and mobility, you can wiggle the feet, coming into the toes, stretching the toes back towards the shins. And our gaze is soft and down towards our hands, down towards the floor, back of the neck, nice and long here. On your next exhale, take your time. We can walk the hands simply to the right leg, right side. Breathing here, softness into the shoulders, into the face and mouth. Nice. And let's walk our hands back to the left, taking it easy, taking our time. And on your next exhale, walking once more to the right side, noticing the motions, noticing if one side feels stiffer than the other or more loose. Or maybe you're feeling better than last week. Just notice the body. And back to center with the hands. And we'll walk ourselves up to center. Nice. Let's bring our feet to the ground, coming into windshield wiper position, rocking the knees side to side, warming up the lower body, glutes, sacrum. Breathing here, relaxing into the ground as we move. Eventually, we'll drop our knees to one side and push up towards tabletop. You can be on your forearms or bring some blocks and a pillow, make it a little cozier. Bring some height to your posture. Since we have the birth ball with us today, you can also use that. Makes it a little bit higher, but it definitely takes some pressure off the hips, especially if you're noticing some discomfort there and pressure there. So yogi's choice, mama's choice. Choose where you want to be, and we'll hang out there, moving through our tabletop position. So I always like to say that prenatal yoga isn't rocket science. It's about feeling good. It's not about mastery, or getting the perfect posture. It's literally about listening to your body and sending it what it needs. So wherever you are, we're here warming up the hips and listening to the intuition of our hips, our pelvic floor, our babies. Noticing what feels good, what needs a little attention, sending our breath and motion there. If your head is feeling heavy, you can always hold it in your hands or rest it on the birth ball. And as long as you're keeping in mind balance of your movements, of your sides, continue to explore here. I'm going to demo on the ball. If you're comfortable where you are, continue to hang out there, playing bilaterally, so rocking the hips side to side, as well as laterally coming into pelvic tilts or anterior and posterior tilting. Remembering to connect the breath to the movement. And on that seek and find mission, to find tension, to find clinging, and to invite a little motion, a little lotion, and some breath. We'll be here for another minute or so. If your head is facing one direction, feel free to flip it to the other side to offer a stretch to the opposite ligaments in the neck. Nice work, mama. Making this your last inhale and exhale. And then we'll start to move again. So finding all four connection points, whether you're on the ball, a pillow, your blocks, or the floor. Finding your stability, so turning on your core muscles, pulling belly towards the spine and shifting the weight to the left to free that right leg. We'll step it back, coming into a calf stretch. Modified sun dog here, breathing as we draw the heel down towards the floor. Nice. And when you're ready, using the foot and toes on that right side to hop yourself into an asymmetrical squat. So take your time and be gentle with your balance if you're on the birth ball. Let's come into a nice asymmetrical lunge here. So this is a really great, all asymmetrical postures are really great for active labor, opening up the pelvic inlet and letting baby through so their head can make that important turn to come through the outlet. Breathing here into your sits bones, feeling the pelvis expand and open towards the floor, towards your heel. With each exhale, noticing as the pelvis slightly draws in and up, creating softness here in the glutes and lower back as we move and offer a nice stretch. Lovely. We'll head back to our tabletop, whatever version you're in. If you're on the birth ball, specifically, pull baby back to your spine, engaging your core. If you're on tabletop, it's always good to do that anyway when we're moving. And we can hop or slide our foot down to meet the leg, coming to the other side. The good old-fashioned windows open tonight, ladies. If you can hear what I'm hearing, thank you. All right, from here, let's transfer our weight to the right side and slowly pull baby to the spine and then lift onto that left foot, coming into asymmetrical on the other side. If you're noticing it's hard to be in an asymmetrical lunge this week, maybe you're further along in your pregnancy and baby is a little bigger this week, bring height to your form. So if you're not on the birth ball, if you're on blocks, you can always stack extra blocks, bring in a couple extra blankets or pillows towards your hands to bring the ground to you. Breathing here. Noticing the sounds around us and shaking it off, letting it all go. Letting the head drop and neck drop as we breathe into our pelvic floors and notice the bones. When you're ready, engaging baby to the belly, to the spine, and heel toeing or hopping or stepping, skipping your legs together. Shake it out. Making any other movements, motions that feel good for you. All right, let's get low. So we can come onto our toes, shake out the wrists. Nice. Can open up our arms parallel to the floor, breathing into the chest. Exhale as we push on the invisible walls beside us, bringing fingertips towards the ceiling. Breathing here into the upper body. Exhale those fingers down and around, moving out the wrists. Hands can come back down to the ground. If you're on your toes still with me, you can come off your toes and shake them out. If you were sitting on your calves with your toes not engaged, that's okay too. Nice. From here, let's press our hands down towards the carpet. Inhale, length. Exhale to press the invisible floor below us, unless you can reach the floor. From here, inhale, length. And exhale to drop that right ear to right shoulder, breathing here into the left side. Lovely. On your next exhale, coming back to center, inhaling length. In the spine, you can shake out the wrists or shoulders if you wish, and then exhale, pushing into that invisible floor again. Inhale, length. Exhale to drop left ear to left shoulder, breathing here into that right side, right rib cage, right shoulder. Beautiful. And your next inhale, coming up to center. Exhale to shake it out. And because we've been in a kneeling position, probably want to come out of that, swing those legs around, and we're moving to the floor. Take your time to get down. If you have any pillows you want to bring with you, feel free. Otherwise, let's stack our hips, our knees, resting our heads in our hand that's on the ground. Shoulders are stacked as well, so all nice and even here. Inhale. Exhale to release into the ground as we take our hands and offer ourselves that self-massage that we offered last week as well. So you can start at your glutes, lower back and sacrum. So think glutes, the dimple of your back, and all around your tailbone and that diamond-shaped bone known as the birth gate that will be opening up to birth your baby. Notice any tension, any ease, inviting breath, inviting release. And when you're ready, you can slowly work your way up the spine. So we're starting at the right side of the spine, or depending on the side you're laying on, we're starting on the above the spine, and we're pulling the muscle up and out towards our side body, almost like we're rolling the fascia, the ligaments, the muscles, all that make up the spine. We're rolling it in the opposite direction towards the front body. Feel free to continue to play up the spine as much as you can reach. Nice. And then working your way back down towards the glutes again. Nice. From here, when that feels complete, there's no rush. Feel free to slide your hand into the front of your belly. So right now, baby's probably moving towards gravity, moving towards the ground. You can take your belly and massage the skin on the belly as well. Think about moving the skin and the fascia in the opposite direction than it currently lives when you're standing. So you can pick up the bottom of your belly, the base of your belly, lift it up and in, and take that all the way around, up and in. The fascia and the skin has a beautiful gift or talent that when it's moving in one direction, it continues to move and flow in that direction. So if you think about it right now, the fascia in your belly that makes up your belly skin is moving down and out, down and out. So a nice counter pressure, counter stimulation for your fascias to move it up and in. And if you notice a part of your skin where that doesn't feel super great, try moving it in an opposite direction and notice that. So sometimes it helps to move it up and out, like around the hips. Nice. And then working our way all the way to the floor, taking baby off of the carpet or the floor, lifting and pressing in and up. Taking a little weight off all of the veins, the ligaments in the legs. Nice. Beautiful. When you're ready, let's roll onto our backs and come into a bridge position or bridge setup. So feet are on the floor, knees are facing the ceiling, and let's take a little rock here, side to side, windshield wipers. Getting into the sacrum a little bit more here and using the floor to help bring mobility to the back of the hips, back of the spine and sacrum, that birth gate that allows for a lot of movement as we birth our babes. All right, once you're feeling warm there, take your time. This can feel really relieving, so feel free to spend as much time as you wish here. Once that feels complete, find your knees up towards the sky and let's press into our feet. So we're pressing down and out, almost like we're trying to drag the carpet or the flooring out from under us. And that allows the natural curvature of our spine to come down towards the floor. Go gentle on yourself. We don't need to create more tension by totally jamming our backs up towards the base of the floor if that doesn't feel good. Again, we're thinking about motion as lotion. We're thinking about mobility and trying to isolate all the micro bones, ligaments, fascia that help us with this movement that we're making. So go easy, gentle, make it a massage. Breathing here as we move. Lovely. When you're ready, if you're still feeling good to be on your back, when you're ready, coming back to a neutral spine. So letting your natural curve come back and finding all 4 connection points on the ground. So we have our feet, our bones of our sacrum, our shoulders and head. You can even bring your hands down for balance. Let's shift our weight to the left side, just enough to lift that right foot off, right leg off. Let's take some circular motions with our ankle. Can point and flex the foot. Nice micro bend in the knee here as we allow all the blood to kind of rush out of the leg and back towards the torso and heart to be recycled. Nice. When you're ready, you can bend into that right knee and bring it up towards your armpit, taking a little asymmetrical wind position, rocking that leg in and out of the socket. And then let's bring the right ankle to the left side and have a little thread the needle. We won't actually thread the needle, but you can push into that right thigh, creating a little opening of the hip on the right side. It also can allow for